Right, my peoples, hello again. This is the Spanner Man, and I'm a bit gutted because I just did a commentary and managed to erase it. So I'm going to do it again. I'm going to try and keep up the energy. Right, I said before I really wanted to do a commentary on The Prisoner, the 1967 series that no one seems to have. I know lots of people like it, but no one much has done a commentary online for this. There's no commentary on the discs. I'm watching the PAL versions, and I really love the 60s series, The Prisoner. I thought it was great. It really informed me as I was a kid about where I wanted to be as a person and things like that. I've got the PAL version of the discs. I'm going to do Arrival. I'm going to do the first episode. We're going to, and hopefully we'll be able to watch this together. If you want to watch it with me, bung it into your DVD player or the device of your choice. And we'll watch through this and see if we can get some nuggets of information out. Right. So I've got the disc in. I've got it on the Arrival episode, and it's on the play episode button. So in 3, 2, 1, go. I'll push the play. We'll push the play and we'll watch it together. Here we go again. Let's see if we can get it right this without losing the files this time. Like I say, I love this. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, play. Right, there's McGowan turning around with the blue light behind him. The bad blue light that they blue screen they put around him as he arrives. The ITC logo. When I was a kid in the 80s, my dad said, "Why don't you watch this program, Thunder?" There we go. I'm going to sidetrack myself already. The music here was McGowan. He whistled it to the music band or whoever it was who made the music. He whistled the tune to them. So he's got multifunctional vocal cords as well. He whistled the tune and they came up with this tune off of his whistling effort, which is great. This is a very iconic music. I think it's Ron Grainer again, isn't it, who did this? I'm not sure who actually made the music up for him. Here he goes into the underground car park with his Caterham 7 kit car. Seen a few of these being in the motor trade. He made it himself. I think he really did. He's going into the way out. That's the way out, to resign into the underground car park, where I think the guy here is pardon me, is George Markstein, the co-creator with McGowan of this program, delivering his resignation by hand. You only see a quick flash of Markstein, baldy guy there. Yeah, he made the car himself. The registration's his own, I think. Being followed all the way home, getting ready to go to the village. Anyway, back to where look, that's the iconic over the John Drake picture from Danger Man. XXXXX all over. He's over. He's going into the. I love this. Here we all are. This is us as a people being put into the filing cabinet. I think we're all filed anyway, aren't we? We're on a computer disc now. But this is what they did back in the 60s. And this is all influenced, I think, by the Sgt. Pepper album, 66, 67. It's that time. There he is with his card, parking outside. You can't do that in London anymore, I'm sure. Get a congestion charge straight away. The Prisoner. Yep, brilliant, this stuff. Here he comes, the weird, I don't know who this guy is. He looks like an Undertaker. Here he is. There's that seamless gas, like in the Phantom Menace. You have to see it. If he turn around now, he can stick his head out the window and save himself. But no, it's working almost immediately. The fire extinguisher put through the keyhole there to zonk him out. I said, but there's an English sitcom called 2.4 Children that parodied this. The main guy in it, the father of the family, Ben, was played by Gary someone. He had a long-standing rivalry with another plumber, and they were forever playing tricks on each other. And in one episode, the other plumber gets hold of him and puts him in the village and makes it look like a prison. They do a parody of this, and it's brilliant. It's exactly the same. And they have Rover, the big weather balloon, and everything bouncing down the side. You want to go hold of that episode if you can. 2.4 Children. Belinda Lang, very nice. Used to fancy her a bit. She's probably alright. I think she married Captain Hastings from the Poirot adaptations with Suchet. I like them. I won't do a commentary for them, I don't suppose. Don't know if I've got enough to say for 2 hours of them things. But here he is going round the village, checking out his new surroundings, where he's going to be imprisoned for the next 17 episodes. I don't think they originally wanted to make 17. I think McGowan was bored of Danger Man. They had made that into an hour series because Danger Man had been massively successful. And Lou Grade said, well, what do you want to do? And he said, well, we'll do this series about a prisoner. And he got Mark Stein, who was apparently a spy. There, his name, a script editor, or a former spy, and he knew about the actual village. He said that there was a place they sent people to, old spies, and they would put them in these places and lock them up for information because they knew too much, and they would keep them there for life. We open soon. Pardon me. Anyway, getting back to me dad, he said, why don't you watch this? And I was only about 8 or 10, 8, 10, whatever it was. And it was on Channel 4. They were repeating it on Channel 4. And I taped it. And I think I got the first episode, luckily. And just fell in love with it. I just loved the weirdness. I loved the guy, the character McGowan's playing here. Which is probably pretty close to the man himself, I would think. And I really fell in love with the I like the way that they want you to be an individual, or McGowan wanted you to be an individual, wanted you to be free of the bureaucracy and the red tape, which really resonates now, doesn't it? I mean, we're all stuck in our machines, our infernal machines of logic and government control. And I'm just going to have a sip of water and keep the cough down. Anyway, yeah, McGowan here, he wanted to make this into this programme. Lou Grade let him do it. He had carte blanche, I think. He was executive producer on it with George Markstein. They wrote a few together before they fell out. And went to Portmeirion in Wales to film this, which was, I mean, really great location. They did a Doctor Who here later on. Mask of Mandragora. I mean, you can tell it's exactly the same, basically. This, in the location looks exactly the same here as it does there. There's our Asian lady taxi driver, using the cosmopolitan language of French. I'm not sure about that. I think English must be the language of the world these days. And he's trying to get his bearings, but he probably never will in this madness. And he must have come out of his head in a dream, I think, this place, really. The psychedelia of it all, along with Sergeant Pepper. I think they play that in the last episode, Fallout, which is really mad. They play the All You Need Is Love from the Magical Mystery Tour, I think. Beatles. But yeah, Mark Stein and McGowan came out with this. They filmed it at Portmeirion, and the condition was that at the end of the series they would say where this was. And it's been a boon for tourists down at Portmeirion ever since. I think they've got the 6 of 1 appreciation group. They go down there and run holidays and what have you. And there's a little place down there. I think they sell all the prisoner postcards now and all that there. Yeah, so I watched it after my dad said, because my dad always liked some interesting programs, he used to get me onto them. So I watched these through and thought it was great. Here he goes into the general store. Is this man a prisoner or guardian, the man who runs the shop here? He turns up again later on, I think, and quite a sinister sort of little fat bloke, like me. And they use credit units or something to pay for stuff here. And wasn't this, when they made that remake not so long ago with John Cazeve, oh, that was crap, wasn't it? With Gandalf and that, oh my god. When they put it in the desert, biggest load of crap I've ever seen. They should have left this well alone. They obviously didn't know what they were doing. I'm glad they based it in the desert, the remake, because it had about as much imagination as the desert in the sand. I mean, this was brimming with ideas, and look, there's the map of the village. And the remake was about as stale as cold toast, wasn't it? Oh, dear God. I mean, McGowan here was offered Bond before Connery, and wouldn't do it because the character was too immoral. McGowan himself said he couldn't play a character like a devout Catholic, whatever that means. Catholic's a made-up religion anyway, isn't it, if you believe the Da Vinci Code, which I probably do. It seems reasonable to me. Such a pompous religion could come out of nowhere and be created and, be really ridiculous. A pagan creation. Anyway, McGowan was a devout Catholic, so he wouldn't snog all the birds. What a plonker. Plonker's a derogatory term for all the Americans out there. We're watching the PAL version, as I said. But McGowan, he was a devout Catholic, so he wouldn't play Bond. He turned it down, carried on doing Danger Man in that. And Danger Man, they've always said John Drake. He said, Mark Stein said John Drake was the prisoner. McGowan said no, he wasn't. I sort of more go towards McGowan because John Drake spoke in this weird mid-Atlantic accent. We had a sort of American twang to his voice. Pardon me. Which was bloody awful. Well, he said like what Roger Moore did with The Saint. I might do a couple of The Saint actually. I like the first episode of that. I might do that at some point. Yeah, like Roger Moore did that, where they talk about, they give that sort of American twang and say can't instead of can't, and yeah, those weird sort of where they change the term, the way it's spoken, the inflection and that. Here he is in his home from home, wearing his black suit. I always said he shouldn't have wore a black suit coming in. He should have worn a multicoloured suit to give him his individuality. But I suppose he has to dress like Johnny Cash because everyone else is dressed so colourfully here. They're all wearing their multicoloured clothes and everything. Here we are. Number 2 is calling. I'm going to come and see him. What is your number? I am not a number, I am a real man. All that, like that iconic beginning. Join me for breakfast in the Green Dome. Advert break. Or it would have been back in the day, because now you have an advert every 10 minutes, don't you, in America? When I went over there for my honeymoon, oh my God, let's not talk about that too much. And a disaster that was, what a disaster she was. Second divorce, thank God, we got rid of that one. Anyway, here he is wandering around the village, going to the Green Dome to meet number 2. I think this is a studio set. They cut between there, didn't they? Film and set. Although it still looks quite good. The cut's not bad, is it? I mean, you can't really tell. And there's the sort of normal looking outer room. There's the dwarf, the everyman, to represent us. He's in every episode. Angelo Muscat and Oompa Loompa in Willy Wonka, the Gene Wilder version. I think he died not long after that. He's playing the everyman in this, and he's us, the downtrodden masses. We're represented by the Porg, the person of restricted growth, as Tom Sharp said in one of his books. Can't remember which one. Love Tom Sharp. Might do Porterhouse Blue. Great, that's a good adaptation of one of his books. Great satirist. He died not so long ago either, did he? Here he is, our number 2. Our first number 2. Our first number 2 of the day. Aha. It is Guy Dolman, this guy. I think the actor's name. Was in Ploughed Count Lippy in Thunderball with Connery. Another good English actor was in the Ipcris File, playing the downgraded M. You know, because everything in the Ipcris File was probably like it really is. I mean, Bond's a romanticised version of MI6. I think the Ipcris File was a bit closer to reality, really. And Dolman played the sort of M in that, I think. The M character. He was also in I don't know, he pops up everywhere, Guy Dolman. Always your reliable sort of English gent, really. Played the baddie sort of Russian spy in or the Spectre spy in Thunderball, and was killed off by the sexy red-headed bird in that. Oh yeah, lovely jubbly. There goes the everyman, the servant that we are. They are the servant. We're serving the betters. We're off and out of it. Here he is, coming for his toast. What's it all about? This is Patrick McGowan at his angry best. Love this stuff. They know exactly what he has for breakfast and everything. So I'm trying to keep my energy up for this episode because, like I said, I've just done it and managed to dump the file. There goes the chair coming out through the floor. Iconic. Oh, and the penny farthing with and this is with no handlebars, strangely enough. I think that's... Oh, there they are. Sorry, they are there. Because McGowan thought we were progressing too fast. He wanted to slow down the evolution of man. He said technology was too quick. He was a bit of a technophile. So he uses the penny farthing there as a symbol of slowing down the wheels of progress, as he said. We shouldn't be going too fast. Technology is going too fast for us to keep up with. I don't think anyone took any notice because we're right here into the land of Pod. And we're well away, so much further than here, but I suppose we should have done really, because we could blow ourselves up at any moment, couldn't we? Don't want to be alarmist, or they call it freak. What do they call it? Too many Oliver Stones, conspiracy theories, and all that. They could be seen as that. I'm leaving. There's no way out. You can't leave. Boom. There's no way out. He should have realised that already, he's saying. Got his file, lived his whole life here, from baby upwards. So he's in bars then, he's in his cot behind bars. Maybe there's some symbolism there. I think McGowan was Irish. He was sort of, I think he's about 39 here. If he says he was born in 28 in a minute, I think it says that. And it actually is his birthday. Here he is, going to meet Cobb. Didn't meet Cobb, and Cobb will turn up later. Played by the great Paul Eddington. of Yes Minister, Yes Prime Minister fame. Maybe should do a commentary for a couple of them, but they're just brilliant. They stand alone, don't need commentating on. This doesn't really, I suppose, but I'm going to anyway, because I'm going to subvert the form and just do it. He's got a cold, sneezed his way out of his camera. But I just love the way that they've been watching him forever, and now they're going to take control, put him in the village and try and hold him. And of course they can't hold him because he said, McGowan himself says that number 6 is the virtuous man, the best in all of us. Can't be corrupted, he's uncorrupted. He's a spy, so again, aren't spies corrupted? I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, like lemon tea, changing the file, want to keep the file up to date, want to know why he's resigned, and he's going to give the iconic speech any moment. I've nothing to say. Is that clear? Throws it on the floor, throw the book down, and this is where he gives it. Just a matter of time, we'll break you. We can't use the normal methods, but we'll break you. And you'll want to tell us everything. Let's make a deal. Cooperate. See, but you've got to stay here forever. You're not ever leaving. You're going to be here forevermore. There we go. I've resigned. I will not make any deals with you. Not be pushed, filed, stamped, indexed, briefed, debriefed, or numbered. My life is my own. I think it's brilliant. This is the way we should all be. We're all so busy doing what we're told in this country, especially in England. Lining up, being part of the village, which is now the world. Like you say, you'd never escape. The village is the world now. Bit of foreshadowing here for later on in the episode when he tries to bugger off with the helicopter. He's got the little man driving the thing again, the Porg. I just like the way that this does reflect now. Really, this is really now we are in the village. And he says in one of the later episodes, this is the number 2, I think Leo McKern says, this is the blueprint of a perfect world. You'll eventually be living in this everywhere you are. And then McGowan says as number 6, yeah, I'd like to be the first man on the moon to get completely out of it, which is true. But yeah, exactly, if you're not going to live on Mars, you've got to live inside this system. Which is absolutely true now. We are stuck in this village. You'll be the death of me. We also have a graveyard. Just such brilliant imagery, isn't it? All these little cars, all these multicoloured villagers who are trapped forever in this place. The guardians and the guards. I mean, they're all prisoners, really, aren't they? As Leo McKern says when he does his turn as number 2. Probably the best number 2 of the lot, really. Because I presume his number 2, Leo McKern's, was a prisoner type and then was broken and was brought into the system. And as they fight it out in Degree Absolute, once upon a time, the final episode therein, he says he was a good man. He will be better if you can get him. Number 6, that is. And I thought Leo McKern was brilliant. Apparently he had a nervous breakdown after he filmed the episode because it was so intense. But then we'll talk about that if I ever get that far and do that many. Yeah. Here's number 6, seeing if he can pick a chess partner, who he will do later on. He'll be playing chess. In later episodes, as it's all a game of chess. There's the grounded ship, bit of symbolism there. The ship is on the beach because it's not going anywhere. Even though later he does get on a boat, I think with Peter Wingard being number 2 in that one. The gayest number 2 ever. How they never knew Peter Wingard was gay, I'll never know. Because he did Department S and Jason King was a massive sex symbol until he was outed on Clapham Common. But then we'll talk about that later, and then of course lost his career because being a ladies' man ain't too good if you're a gay man, as so many actors were back in those days, and probably still are. And like I say, I'm not anti-gay. I know I've been talking about gays before on this and homosexuals, but I'm not anti-gay. You can be what you like. I'm just telling it like it is. He was definitely a gay boy. Was Peter Wingard. Anyway, we'll probably talk about him if we ever get to that episode. A lot of these actors turned up in Doctor Who, of course, as did this setting. I think they used that as the big ball for Mask of Mandragora. There's Guy Dolman again. This is ice cream is on sale with Fenella Felding doing the voiceover. She was really good and sexy in Carry On Screaming, playing Valeria. If I ever do a commentary for Carry On, because they're good commentaries on the discs, what you get, but I might do a few. And she was well sexy and had a really sexy voice, doesn't she? Fenella Felding, still with us. I think she's still alive. Doesn't work much these days, but was brilliant as the voice of the radio on all the episodes of this. And here he is, number 2 on the loud hailer, going to make everyone freeze. There's the penny farthing again. Stop the wheels of progress, he's saying. Stop going too fast before we blow ourselves up. I think McGowan was afraid we were all heading for Armageddon. And it's possible, we probably are at some point. Or terminal boredom, because we're controlling our systems, aren't we? They had a choice. What choice? They were stuck. So he froze them all there. There they go. Wait. And here comes the icon out of the fountain. Rover. Although I don't think it's called. And onto the roof there, onto the balcony. Here he is, the guy going to run away. He won't stand still. Oh, stay still. Don't move. You plonker, you're going to get it. You're going to get it. He's going to have ya. Into the rose bushes. Must be a stunt man. He must be on double money this day. I think the stunt man's going to be got and pushed into the rose bush. There it is. The thing, he's blown that bubble gum too far out and it's blown up in his face. But Rover, what a brilliant thing. Moves fast, isn't it? They got the old chalk behind it, moving it. But yeah, I think that's brilliant. And they did this in 2.4 Children, this exact bit. The guys behind it, the bloke who played Trigger from Only Fools and Horses, Roger Lloyd Pack. He was the guy that was against the protagonist in that 2.4 Children. He did that exact scene, pushed the ball down the hill. I must watch that again. 2.4 Children, that was brilliant. Here they are, the Free Sea. What's the Free Sea? Oh, here we are, some from an old girl in a wheelchair. The Labour Exchange. God, how many of us have been down to the Labour Exchange and stood in queues like this? Here he is, number 2's back. How do you like it? I love it. I'll miss it when I'm gone. He's starting to get it though, isn't he, number 6? He's playing the game with him. There he is, the Labour Exchange. All standing nicely outside. I wish that was like that now. You go down there and everyone's chucking their beer cans and they're outside the Dole office. God, they're all pissed when they get in there. It's such a fucking dive nowadays. He's going in for his assessment. Goes straight through because he's a special case, as you know, number 6. And just a still tongue makes a happy life. There you go. Wouldn't they love that now if we were all like that? Just quiet and did as we were told. Questions are a burden to others. I didn't read the rest of it, I missed it, but obviously some derogatory statement that McGowan's making a statement about there. Here we go, it's the aptitude test. And Christopher Benjamin, a Doctor Who stalwart, was in Inferno, the great Pertwee episode, and The Talons of Weng Chiang, a great Tom Baker episode. I mean, Inferno, the fans rave. It's okay, but it's a bit boring for me, Inferno. I might do it one day, don't know. But Talons of Weng Chiang, a classic. And Christopher Benjamin there playing Henry Gordon Jago, playing the bureaucrat in this episode with the weird massive Meccano set there that he's spinning around. I think McGowan's just about to boot one into him. Gonna throw at him. This is his aptitude test. You do it on a bit of paper now when you're for Mensa. There it goes, the Meccano's on the floor, the woodwork's gone. And I think Christopher Benjamin also played in Danger Man. He was an ally of John Drake in Danger Man. He played Potter and turned up in this, in The Girl That Was Death episode, where it was a really surreal episode where it was like a bedtime story, was trying to get him to reveal why he resigned, weirdness and all that. But yeah, Christopher Benjamin turned up a few times in this series and was also an ally in Danger Man. Here she is, get out maid, you ain't never gonna convince. He won't kiss her because, as we know, Patrick Mullen didn't do that kind of thing. He didn't kiss the ladies at all, that would be too much. Here we go, here's the rest of the set. The pipe music coming in that you have to listen to all the time in The Prisoner. I like this set, this room set, it's really nice. It's got that surreal quality to it, hasn't it? The real 60s look with the upside down wok light shade there. You're home from home forever. If he turns that round, he can make a good stir fry in that lampshade there, I reckon. Here's his new rooms forever. Got to keep the drape shut because we don't want to open out onto the set, because we're on the set here, we're on the stage, obviously. Lou Grade was a bit alarmed because I don't think he saw a lot of the dailies. Oh, lava lamp, a stalwart of the 60s. There you go. My sister had one of those. Not that she's from the 60s, even though she looks like she's 60. Ha ha, love you, sis. Thank you. Yeah, here he is in the room. Yeah, Grade was a bit nervous because they hadn't seen any of the rushes or anything. Because I think McGowan was trying to keep this under his hat a bit because it was so weird. There's the map again of the village. You are here in the mountains. There's nowhere for you to go. There's no escape, mate. Yeah, so Lou Gray was a bit alarmed, and when he saw it, I think he liked it, but it was very odd. I think the viewing public, although the viewer figures were high for this, I think they couldn't get it sometimes. It's a bit surreal. There you go. The branding on all the foods, is it bugged? No, we are. We're all owned by corporations now, and there's the branding on all the food like they do now. Bit of product placement it would be now. In the modern one, I suppose they put a load of Heinz and whatever the product placement would be nowadays, like Coke or something. Just goes to show we're all run by corporations and it's all been taken over. And I think the radio's just about to get one. There you go. Smash that radio. Now they wouldn't have that, of course, it'd be built in. But I think he's built into the wall somewhere. But I think he's trying to make a statement. He's trying to shut it up. But I think the music still plays anyway. If she forgot her thing, can't turn the music off because I think it's still playing anyway. Maybe he's going to have her on the. See, he's upstage, looking like King Henry V or something. I'm going to stand upstage like a king on the stairs. Have you never wondered who the masters are? Have you ever tried to find out? Of course she won't, because she's probably a guardian, a guard, trying to get information out of him. She's not bad, though. I mean, I would. I mean, she's probably about 100 years old now or something. Dead or rough looking, anyway. Not that I just go for looks. I do, I'm sorry. I'm a shallow chap. And there she is, trying to get one question out of him, trying to get him to answer one thing. Because they think if they get the one thing out of him, he'll follow with the rest. But of course he never even gives them the one thing, does he? So, but I do love this. Number twos, they're always liquidated at the end of episodes, aren't they? Unless you're lucky enough to pop up twice, like Leo McKern and Colin Gordon, was it? Who did 2 episodes, A, B and C and the General. 2 great episodes. Love the General. Might do the General. I think that's brilliant. And he was always so nervous, the Colin Gordon guy. He turned up in a Steptoe Son episode. I think he died in the 70s. He was a good actor. Yeah, he was a good number 2. Was nervous, drinking milk. That's right, drank the milk. And he was really scared of his masters. He thought they were going to come and get him. And I think they did liquidate him in the end because he failed twice. So that's unforgivable, isn't it? But A, B and C was a fairly good episode, early one. And so was the General. General was brilliant. I like the General. So here's McGowan. If you tell me one thing, they'll let me go. Here he is on the seesaw in the control room. Love this. The big eye, the iconic eye. And the bald guy here, the controller guy. He thinks he's going to get information. I don't think you are, mate. And he died not long after this of cancer, I think. Leukemia, maybe. I think this was the only thing he ever did. I think he was a school teacher. Looks a bit like Harry Hill. There's a British reference for you. And there's Guy again, the man in charge. He's not going to be here for much longer. He's going to pop off. Maybe he had to maybe he was making the Ipcris file at the same time, and he had to pop off quick. Must be the same sort of time. Here comes Blofeld in his little trolley. Here he comes. Hey, Blofeld's arrived, the King of Spectre, to give him a new radio. It's a weird thing. There's lots of bald guys in this first episode, which is a bit strange. With his what colour? Lilac, bloody orange overalls. Yeah, very sexual. He's the technician and a guard, I would think. But yeah, he does look like Blofeld, doesn't he? A bit. He could have been Blofeld, I'm sure. He's off for a walk. Doors opened automatically for him. He clicks his fingers and does that a few times, like Tennant does in Doctor Who occasionally. Clicks his fingers and the door opens on the TARDIS. There are. We're back on location. He should have stole the trolley. He could have made a slow escape. And they're all wearing their multicoloured. Like the design, the clothes. I think they look really cool. Showers later. Lovely day. Be seeing you. Use that a lot myself. Oh, it's the same technician. He's popped up doing some gardening now. Look. He's got some roots. It's the same guy. They're doing the Oompa Loompa thing that they did. Making the same guy look in different roles. Oh, he's Dr. Evil. That's what we should see. We should have Austin Powers in the village. If they make another Austin Powers film, they should put him in the village. I mean, that'd be brilliant, wouldn't it? Because I like Goldmember a lot, even though a lot of people didn't. The first 2 films are good, but I thought Goldmember was great. They sort of panned Goldmember a bit, but if they make a 4th one like they're threatening to, I think Mike Myers, if you're listening, you should do a parody of The Prisoner. That'd be brilliant. Get that in there somehow. Branch off into something new, because he got a bit old hat, some of the parts of Goldmember anyway. There's the eye, the iconic things, the heads turn like Live and Let Die in Bond. The things on the island turning their heads, watching him. The flashing eyes. They did do that in Live and Let Die, didn't they, when Roger Moore did his first one. Roger Moore. I might do a Bond one day, but then the commentaries online aren't bad, and the commentaries on the discs are brilliant for them. So I think it'd be superfluous, won't it? Don't know if I could speak that long either. About 2.5 hours of Bond. Here's Rover again, Bubblegum City. Come to get number 6. Your eyes have left Julius Caesar flashing his eyes. The red phone. Part post 14. Here we go. He's talking to the control. Now the prisoner's having a bit of a turn now. He's trying to escape. He can't escape. Oh, close up of the eye and his glasses. Yeah, never saw Harry Hill in any other series after this until he got his own series in the noughties. And here he goes. He's trying to escape. I don't know how he's going to escape getting into that place with a flagpole, but now leaving the northern perimeter, number 6. And he wanted to be number 6 because 6 is the only number you can turn upside down and it means something else. He wanted that duality of the number, apparently. Because you can't do that with any other number, apparently. And I think George Markstein, who was the script editor and scripter of some of these, said, yeah, that's a good idea, agreed with him. I mean, they had a lot of creative conflict. I think Markstein disappears halfway through as McGowan gets madder and madder as he went along making the series, because he went crazy, didn't he, throughout. And it got very psychedelic, very Sergeant Pepper. It's all a bit day in the life, Benefit and Mr. Kite, all that. I think you could play the Sergeant Pepper album and watch this, and you'd have a pretty sort of good mix. Put an episode of one of the more psychedelic episodes of this, like Fallout, the last episode. And it's got All You Need Is Love played in it, actually. Must have been number 1 at the time. And here he is having a good fight. Yeah, so if you play Sergeant Pepper to an episode of The Prisoner, it probably gels, actually. It'd be a good soundtrack for it, I think. Here he is. He's stolen the buggy, the golf buggy. And he's off to do 19 rounds on the beach. Here's Rover. Rover's going to get him. The weather balloon, because they had a really crap... I saw a picture in the notes on the DVD. They got pictures of the original Rover, and it's sort of like a Dalek thing with a dome, like a trolley thing that goes around on wheels, like a remote control, and it was really crap. And this thing, so simple, a weather balloon, it looks brilliant, doesn't it? Orange Alert, that's the one. That's the one that always gets you, the Orange Alert. Got him. And they use this weather balloon because McGowan vetoed the Dalek thing. It probably couldn't move on the sand anyway, and they just used Rover, and it's brilliant. What an idea! Iconic. I mean, it's what you remember of this series. You remember the weird people, the weird setups, the number 2s, obviously number 6, and you remember Rover. Rover's the top thing, isn't he? That gets destroyed at the end when they go, yeah, like you very much. And they explode it under the nuclear missile at the end. Here's the old granny guarding him, rocking chair. Maybe there's that progress thing again I was talking about. Stop the wheels of progress, stop the rocking chair. And here is Jim Hacker, before he was Prime Minister. As Double Agent Cobb here, giving some hope for our prisoner to get out. Telling him to make contact with the lady who's in here somewhere, who'll pop up in a bit. Who'll give him an escape plan. It's all a nice setup, of course. He's been brought in. They set it up earlier where they said he disappeared before he met with him. And, Paul Eddington, a great actor, died of skin cancer, sadly enough. God, a long time ago now. Saw him, he looked terrible at the end. I saw a picture. Loved the sun. I think I read his book or something, and he was a great sun worshipper. That came to bite him on the arse. But he was also in The Good Life in the 70s. The iconic series with Felicity Kendall's arse. Everyone loved Felicity Kendall's bottom. She was okay. He played the neighbour, Eddington, next to Richard Bryars. He was alright. I was never a massive fan of The Good Life, though, so we'll forget about that one. But Yes, Minister, I mean, it's classic, brilliant. Here comes Leslie Thomas, ding dong. Come to see that the prisoner's alright. So Paul Eddington there's just put he's just put the idea to meet up with his woman, and now he's going to pass out of the episode because they're just going to check him over. So Leslie Thomas there, he's not really Leslie Thomas, I just thought he looked a bit similar. There goes Paul Eddington, going to commit suicide, or I should say leave the series and go to the other side. Spoilers! But here he is, he's being checked out. Here we go, he's going to go and look at the opium den here in the purple light. This reminds me of Enter the Dragon, where he's fighting the black guy, the Han, and he knocks him out and pushes. Oh, here goes the bald guy. Look at this, another bald guy with mental problems. They've broken him. Anyway, back to Enter the Dragon. I should do a commentary for Enter the Dragon, really, because that's a great movie, and they've done crap commentaries for it. Even the ones online are crap for that. They couldn't get Bay Logan in for that one because he did all the Hong Kong Legends one, and he's great. I love a Bay Logan commentary. But Enter the Dragon hasn't got a good commentary, so I might do that one because I love Bruce Lee. He's great. And it looks like the opium den just there, what we saw. So here's the man that looks like Leslie Thomas, ding-donging, checking him out, putting him into the Bruce Banner chair. There's a green light on him already. He's going to turn into Incredible Hulk. He's in the chair and everything. That looks like the beginning of the old TV series of the Incredible Hulk, yeah. I love the Incredible Hulk TV series with Bill Bixby, Lou Ferrigno. But this looks like that chair they put him in at the start. It was at the beginning of every episode. Danger. Could do a commentary for a few of them, I suppose. Although Kenny Johnson, the creator, did commentary on the pilot and the Married episodes, and they were really good. I like Kenneth Johnson's commentaries. He's really informative. Did V as well, and V's great. He did a good commentary on that as well. On the PAL discs, I don't know what the Americans get, but you can tell me if you respond to this commentary, eh? You can tell me what you think, and please let me know and see if all this information I'm giving you is wonderful. Here we go, they've swapped the room over. We're going back to the purple room again, and now they've got the bald guy in the prisoner's clothes. You will sing to our tune. Coming along nicely, see, they've got him... Oi, oi, oi! Oh, there goes Cobb out the window, behind the sheet. Suicide time. That's made him even angrier and determined to meet the girlfriend. So that pushes the plot along of this episode, such as it is. The plot of finding the girlfriend. Oh, here we go, he's being kitted out. So they took all his old clothes away and gave him to the lunatic, implying that he might be a lunatic, I suppose. Here's your credit card and your free ride home, and the bow to the public school gear and your number. Number's going to be gone very soon. There you go. Bye-bye, number 6. He never wore it again, I don't think, until the episode where he's elected. I might do that one. Free for all, that's very psychedelic. That's definitely a God getting better all the time Beatles album type affair, that one. A bit of footage there, here he goes, a bit of film work. He's definitely, oh, handbrake, I'm off. He's off again, trying to escape. Back to number 2, and methinks number 2 is just about, because Guy Dalman has departed. And Angelo Muscat plays the little guy here, and he was a good little actor, died young, again, like most porgs or dwarfs. Here's George Baker, stalwart of British TV. Was in on Her Majesty's Secret Service with George Lazenby, that great crap Bond. Yes, George Baker, I like George Baker, good actor. Quite sinister in this. A bit more sinister than he played Inspector Wexford, I think, and that bloody programme went on for years and years. He's only recently died. I think Guy Claudius was his breakout. Played Tiberius, did he? It was a good role for him. Was in Doctor Who as well. He was in Full Circle, playing a decider. Full Circle, a good Doctor Who story on Tom Baker's last year. And also played one of the bureaucrats trying to get Michael Crawford a job in Some Mothers Do Heaven, sent up the wall by Michael Crawford. Sort of a bit part player through the 80s and through the 60s. Did his Bond bit, playing the family tree man who Lazenby takes off and goes into Telly Savalas's Blofeld Kojak's land, and with a kilt on. Bond in a kilt, yeah, very cool. Lazenby, very cool. Not nice looking film, bad Bond. Love Diana Rigg though. Might do Avengers. Fancied her rotten. Shame we have to get old, innit? Because she was gorgeous, Diana Rigg. Wah! Might do some Avengers. Love Steed. Love Patrick McNee. Patrick McGowan and Patrick McNee. They're all Irish guys. Anyway, I think after this, McGowan left because the ending. There was a bit of a public outcry, so they didn't like the resolution of The Prisoner, and he never worked in England again, I think, McGowan. Left and did Ice Station Zebra, where for an episode of this he was away, because they had to use Nigel Stock, another stalwart of Sci-Fi. I think he was in Time Flight, that great Peter Davison episode of Doctor Who. And Nigel Stock, yeah, he was good, and as the sort of, when they did the brain transfer, a change of mind, yeah. And here he is after the lady friend of Cobb, the Paul Ennington character, to see if he can escape. Graveyard on the beach. Not sure this is a good idea. When the tide comes in, what's going to happen here, eh? Boot Hill on the beach. I think all the bodies have been sucked out to sea. Yeah. Where was I? I lost my train of thought. Oh, God. Anyway, he's going to meet her. He knows this is the girlfriend because she's looking from a distance. Nice panoramic view. Don't know when this was filmed. Looks a bit windy, doesn't it? He's grabbed hold of her. You knew him. You were his lover. We were friends. She's wearing her Robin Hood outfit. All that sort of... You remember the child catcher Land in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang? She looks a bit like that. I mean, they sort of dressed like that, didn't they, in the Toy Maker Land with Benny Hill? And that weird-looking bloke who was the child catcher who scared fuck out of me when I was a kid. With that big nose and was a ballet dancer, but really sinister looking. God. Yeah, it's very scary. Scared fuck out of me, didn't it? Sorry for the swearing, I can't help it. It was scary. Yeah, Cobb went and they jumped some woman out of the window in a later at Hammer into Anvil, which is a good episode. Sorry, The Prisoner. I might do Hammer into Anvil because I think that's brilliant the way they turned number 2 around. Patrick Cargill, another good actor, was number 2 in that. Playing Manic, he was in 2 episodes of this. Played another guy in the Chimes of Big Ben when the prisoner gets back to London, or so he thinks. But now there's the lady giving him the escape. I don't think this lady's been in anything else. She's not bad. Probably about 100 years old as well if she's still alive. But she's going to tell him the escape route with the magic watch, yeah, to get out. This is a bit like Bond in some ways, isn't it? She's going to tell him about the magic wand to escape in the helicopter, so you can override Rover. Pardon me. See, in the first commentary I didn't cough half as much because I'd had a drink and I was prepared, you know. And now I'm doing it again, trying to keep the energy levels up and waning badly. That I'm doing it now. I'm losing. I'm coughing, you see, because my voice has gone dry. Have a glass of water. Here we go. Yep. So he's going to do the escape plan. He can fly the helicopter, try and escape because I get the special watch. It's due at 2 o'clock and it only stays for 2 hours, so he can get the little watch. So Rover can't. It's an electro pass. There you go. Very Bondian. But this series run through 67, 68, and they didn't like the ending, so McGowan left, went to America and stayed there forevermore, and did about 70 episodes of Columbo, as I recall. Doing these weird accents, playing a military man, a funeral director. I think he was a good friend of Peter Falk's, that's right. Yeah, they got on well, and he directed a few of them as well. Peter Falk, the great Columbo. Might do a Columbo, that was quite good. Because I always like Columbo, Peter Falk's. I like the 70s Columbo, because when it came back in the 80s and 90s, Peter Falk played it a bit more harder. He weren't quite the sympathetic character he was in the 70s. I think he was a bit more. He played it more dumber in the 70s, and in the 80s, 90s, he had a sort of harder edge to him, which I didn't like as much. Yeah, Peter Falk was much better as a softer Columbo in the 70s, but McGowan was great friends with him, and they did loads of episodes together. Oh, here's Baker again with his phone. Thank you, mate. Oh yeah, he's setting up the lady, setting up for the big denouement. Going to give him the watch. Shame about Cobb, the Paul Ellington character, her lover, who's just died and been buried. Not. Sent over to the other side like Philby and Phelps in the real spy world. But this is brilliant, this village though. I mean, this is the way it is now, isn't it? England and the whole world. We are the village, really. And there we are, a bit of chess. Going to play it with the sailor here. He's a very nice sailor. What should we do with a drunken sailor? Oh, here comes the chopper. He's going to get his chopper out, who misses. Playing chess. He plays chess a few more. There's a lot of chess references in The Prisoner. They do the human chess in Checkmate later on, don't they? And it's all a game of chess of finding out who the Guardian and who the prisoners are. Oh, he's checkmated him already. He's going to play with this general guy another go, this sailor bloke. Probably a Soviet submarine captain or something. Try the boat, try the landed boat. Another bit of symbolism there. You're not going anywhere on this boat. You're going to stay in the village forever. I've sailed her many a time. What should we do with a drunken sailor? Crazy old bugger. Here we go. This is very unsuspicious, this, isn't it? We're gonna have a quick meeting in the. He didn't watch her come out of number 2s, of course, with the watch. Yeah, your boss give you this. Oh, he did see. I forget. He did see him. I saw you leave after you made your report. There you go. Well, they're sitting in the boat. And to Cobb, been assigned to Cobb and me. But she got too close with Cobb. So he's got the watch anyway, and he's going to have a go at stealing the chopper. It's coming up very soon. He's got hold of her though. He's very tough with the ladies, but he probably wouldn't hit her. Not McGowan. He's very, very straight-laced, very good Catholic boy. Like Cazeville, he was a Catholic when he did The Passion of Christ. When they did the remake, Cazeville, John Cazeville, whatever his name is, he's a good Catholic too. Passion of the Christ. Don't think I watched that crap. Mel Gibson thought he went bananas. Maybe he went bananas when he made that. Anti-Semitic nutter. Here we go, McGowan's across, and he's making his way around the little pond there. Lady in a bikini, she's rushing to get a towel or a bathrobe. Because it's so bloody cold, I would think. Oh, there's another little girl in a boat there, little young lady, very sexy, all in bikinis. I'd like to get some of that. There goes the dwarf again, the everyman, he's us. The nothing in the village, the man that makes it all work and makes it happen, but is next to worthless in the eyes of the governments and the village leaders and all that. There's the parallel for you. Here comes Rover again, spinning his watch. He's going to turn Rover off. I love the weather balloon, I think it's great. So iconic. I'd like to have one of those in my bedroom to scare off my girlfriends, but they wouldn't understand it anyway. Especially the ex-wife. Bloody hell, she wouldn't know what it was. What's that big round thing in the bedroom? Oh, it's you. Never mind. See, I can be cruel. Cruel to be kind, you know. Cruel to be kind. Here he goes, Rover's leaving him alone, and he's managing to get in the chopper. I think this is to break him a bit, isn't it? To make him think he can escape. Give him a chance, so that when it brings him back, he's really downhearted and broken even more. But here he goes, it's takeoff time. He can fly a chopper, he's a secret agent, he can do anything. Mr. Drake, or not, as McGowan said. Mark Stein said he was, he said he wasn't. Although, like I said, Drake spoke with a strange accent, so he probably isn't. One of the stalwarts of... Was this Ealing Studios or Pine? I can't remember, but they made The Saint and The Avengers. Going to do The Saint as well, probably. I like those early episodes of The Saint. I like the first episode, I might do that. Yeah. If these pick up, if I get good feedback from you out there, the great listening public, if you think I'm any good, I might do a couple more episodes of some obscure programmes. Do some Danger Man, Saint, do The Persuaders. Here she is, going to get the reference now. He's trying to escape, he's off. He's about as far as he's going to get. There, they've got the camera down on the floor looking up again, getting the angle. Got the blades going and got the camera underneath. And here's number 2 in control, Mr. George Baker. I think this is probably the only time I've seen him with dark hair, really, because he's always grey and everything else. Here goes the handbrake. Adjust the handbrake. Bring the chopper back in. You've lost control, number 6. You have no control. They've got control over you now, mate. You are forever a prisoner. There is no release for you, my friend. Yeah, bringing him back, giving him the hope of escape, and then bringing him back. Game of chess, my dear. Here we go. Here's the chess reference. You should learn. We're all pawns, my dear. He's going to say it any minute, this old fella. This old fluffer. We're all pawns, my dear. Yeah, of course we are. There you are. You know now, didn't you? We'll never see this woman again. She obviously got blasted out after this episode. We're all pawns, my dear. Yeah, there we go. Bring it down. Give him a chance of escape and bring him in. There we go. Just let it go, mate. You're not going anywhere. You're coming back to Port Merion. And at the end, that was the thing there to bring it up. Port Merion is where this was filmed. Here it comes. Oh, poor Mr. McGowan. Mr. Number 6. You've got 17 episodes to get through yet, mate. He only wanted to make 6 or 7, I think. And it might have been better like that, because some of the filler episodes are really crap. Like Do Not Forsake Me, My Darling, and the girl who do The Name of Death, whatever it was called. They were both really stupid, surreal episodes where they're reading out of a book, trying to make him resign by telling why he resigned by reading a fairy tale book. Yeah, very weird, strange. There he is. He's not dead. See, there's Mr. Eddington back on our screens. She's a good girl. Be gentle with her. He's just going to the other side with Felby and all the other defectors. Mustn't keep our new masters waiting. And he's going to tell them that you're very good at your job, number 2, so this number 2 won't be liquidated. He's going to say there's no loopholes. And we're coming to the end of the episode already. God, this has flown by, even though this is the second time I've done this today. Be seeing you. There he does. He did the thing. Like the prisoner, and there he is, stuck here for another 17 episodes. And Rover's back to make sure you do not reboard the heli-chopper. And they give him a bit of fear there. There he goes, get away from the chopper. Back to your apartment. Residents only. There you go, there's the little man. We're all residents of the village, eh? And there's the iconic ending, the slamming across the face of Mr. McGowan. He did 17 episodes, this was brilliant. I love this really did prove you should be an individual in everything you do and break free of your bonds. Well, we're there. We're at the end again. I hope you enjoyed the commentary. Give me some feedback. Tell me what you thought. And we'll talk you through the credits here. And they're making the penny farthing up as part of the credits, which is great. You know, this is the slow down the wings of change and all that. We don't want change. We want it to slow down technologies too much, as McGowan was forever saying, as I've probably said too many times during this commentary. Well, anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. And there's the Wrong Grainer theme, as whistled to by Mr. McGowan himself. And great. I hope we can all do this again soon. I'll maybe do some more Prisoner if this gets some good feedback. Thanks for listening, and that's me signing out. Over and out, and game over. Good evening to you all.